This is Alex Glenn, your host of the Marketing Automation Discussion podcast. It's Saturday night about 8:20 p.m., and I'm very excited to get this episode recorded because Nolan Clemens and I on screen, we're going to discuss how Facebook can be leveraged for B2B ads. The three questions in particular we're going to go over tonight are: how useful is Facebook for B2B marketing? Are Facebook ads effective for generating leads for SaaS companies? And what are three best practices and tactics for B2B marketing with Facebook? Now, Nolan Clemens has been on this podcast before. Nolan is the founder of Clemens.io, and we had an initial episode, an introductory episode, talking about bots and how they are used in Facebook ads specifically. So this is a great follow-up to that. He's our resident Facebook ads expert, and he's going to start us off with a quick sort of state of the union with regards to B2B Facebook ads. So go ahead and take it away, Nolan.
Great to be on here again, Alex. Thanks for having me. So let's go through a quick overview of how to use Facebook for B2B marketing. And the key thing to keep in mind is that B2B is still H to H, human to human. So try and put yourself in the shoes of the user as much as possible. And I read a great article and have this great quote: people browse Facebook for casual fun, catching up with friends and family, but not being sold to. It is best to use Facebook to drive them to opt in to your lead magnet before pushing them to your product. And this even goes back to the episode we did on lead nurturing for B2B. The first touch doesn't need to be, it just needs to be for awareness. It doesn't need to be the hard sell. And so one particular main area that you'll be using Facebook for is content marketing, particularly native content. And when I say native, I mean for videos, you upload the video file manually instead of posting a YouTube link. And that's for two reasons. One is to leverage the network effects of Facebook so that other people can share that with their friends or with a group, whatever that is. And the second reason is because Facebook penalizes external links in their newsfeed algorithm. It's the same way on LinkedIn and even on other platforms as well. They want you to stay on Facebook. So when you do post an external link, just keep in mind you're competing with major news outlets that are doing the same thing. So for videos, use native videos. For events, if you're promoting a conference, use a Facebook event, and you can still include a link to Eventbrite or whatever ticketing platform you're using. So that being said, since this is the Marketing Automation podcast, you can automate posting this content using tools like Buffer, Edgar, Hootsuite, to recycle and schedule posts in advance so you're not having to do that manually. And like any B2B content marketing, you want to leverage lead magnets as much as possible. And those are things like get your free ebook, get your free guide, give something of value to them, and then get their email and then put them through the funnel. And most of your content on here needs to be educational, at least at first. And that brings me to the second area, and that is Facebook ads. And for B2B, that could be me as an agency targeting business owners to help them with their digital marketing, or coaches targeting agency owners to help with other things. So in my feed today, just now, I saw an ad for Waymark, which is a video tool, WordStream for Google AdWords, ZipRecruiter to help me find people to hire, Ad Zombies, and like you mentioned at the start, even LinkedIn is using Facebook ads to advertise LinkedIn ads, which is kind of an ad inception. And it's great for high ticket products and services because Facebook ads gives you the ability to monitor key metrics like cost per click, cost per lead, cost per video view, which you can use to scale or adjust your ad before you risk more capital for your ad budget. And they give you a variety of targeting options We talked a bit about retargeting in the lead nurturing episode. You can target website visitors using the Facebook pixel or native video viewers. So if you have a video that goes viral or gets shared a lot, you can retarget that audience. You can upload custom audiences like email lists of your customers. And you can even create lookalike audiences of that, which can be useful at a certain scale. And then standard interest and geo-targeting. And you used to be able to target by employer and job titles, which was useful for B2B, but they removed that feature. So I don't know if they're going to bring that back because someone was abusing it. And then probably the last thing to keep in mind is that if you have a SaaS platform or a technology, create a Facebook group, kind of like a user group, and you can link that with your own page. And you can use that for community management, but particularly for, let's say, ManyChat and ChatFuel, they use that where people can ask questions. So people can kind of use it for support. They can share best practices for customer success. It's a great way to crowdsource those areas, so you're not having to do all the manual work. And speaking of ManyChat and ChatFuel, probably one of the best B2B use cases recently is the use of Facebook Messenger chatbots, because you can do a lot of things on there. Once people opt into messaging, you can walk them through your funnel, and instead of having them, like we covered this in a previous episode, but instead of having them to leave Facebook and go to a website, you can do a lot of things within Facebook Messenger, like schedule appointments and demo. Because you can, using Zapier, you can integrate that with Calendly or whatever your scheduling software is, so that they can schedule an appointment, they can get a reminder, they can even get an email reminder, depending on how integrated it is with your CRM. So those are some great things. In the group, one group you should check out if that's interest is Messenger Marketing Experts. And they have a evergreen webinar flow. If you use webinars at all, that you should check out in that group, and the link will be in the show notes. So now Alex will cover, particularly for software as a service, what you need to focus on.
Yes, sir. So this is my bread and butter here. We're going to talk about SaaS, but before that, I was showing some stuff on screen here, and I just want to mention a couple tools while you're setting up your B2B Facebook ads. Install Chrome extensions. One, Facebook Pixel Helper, the Facebook Pixel Chrome extension. You're going to want to use that just to make sure the pixels are firing at each step in your funnel, so you're accurately tracking traffic through your funnel, and that's passing back the right information to Facebook. So set that up. Number two, I was showing one here. It's called Turbo Ad Finder. It's more for your marketing team, more for your creative team, but it allows you to filter out any non-ads from your Facebook newsfeed. So all I'm showing here is just ads in my newsfeed because I have Turbo Ad Finder on. So I'm showing Clearbits, B12s, WeWorks, Salesforce. You see a lot of, the top 5 are all B2B companies. More proof that it's happening. And then the third tool here, I use moat.com. Gives you a good idea of what competitors or just other industry leaders are doing with regards to their creative. So it just shows you all the ads. Here's Salesforce's ads that they have running right now. So good inspiration and good for just making sure you differentiate from competitors. So install those Chrome extensions. Anyway, so back to the topic. We're gonna go into B2B marketing using Facebook ads for SaaS companies. Will it work for a SaaS company? I think we're all on the same page that yes, it does work. It's working. It's worked in the past and it'll work in the future. Who does it work for? It depends on your demographic. It's probably has use cases for all shapes and sizes of people, except for anyone in China. But I'd say it's most effective for targeting owners, operators, companies that are on the smaller side, SMB side, so under 100 people. It's important to remember, like Nolan said, that we are all humans. We live our lives. We may be on LinkedIn during work days. We may be just in our dashboards during the work day, but we all have our favorite social media platform of choice, and Facebook is still the largest and will continue to be the largest for a while. So your users, your clients are going to be on Facebook for the most part, for most of you listening. So definitely want to have a presence on there. And then the next step is who and how and what sort of targeting do you implement. I like to use Facebook for retargeting for SaaS companies. Again, we're just talking about SaaS companies, especially if your budget's low and you're focused on organic growth. Use Facebook ads for retargeting, meaning let them go ahead and get to your website from a PR campaign, from questions you answer on Quora, from your product hunt, from organic search. Let them get to your site there. So you got that first brand impression across. They didn't convert, they bounced. 95% of your traffic plus will. No worries. Go ahead and create audiences in Facebook and retarget them strategically, of course. Now, what do I mean by strategically? You don't just want to throw everybody into one bucket and serve them the same ads. What I like to do is not only split up retargeting by pages they've visited and the types of content on those pages, but also by time frame. So when you're a SaaS company, you have your typical demo to close time frame, or your typical traffic to demo time frame. That time frame is a perfect opportunity for you to serve different types of ads at each stage in that time frame. So the beginning stage is as soon as they bounce off your site, you want to hit them with feature examples, ways in which your product is being used, meaning integrations, what your product is best for. Remind them how your tool can be used. That's days 0 through 3 when they bounce from your site, again, for the SaaS use case. Now, days 4 through 10, this is just example, it'll change depending on your use case and your industry, etc. But days 4 through 10, they have not converted, they have not scheduled a demo, they have not closed yet. Serve them case studies, client testimonials, remind them why people use your tool. If you have a Gartner quadrant that you'll rank high on, if you have good reviews, show them those. Now you have days 11 through 30. These are all the people that are really getting cold. They have not entered your CRM. They have not closed. They have not scheduled a demo. Serve these people an offer at this point. Serve them something to just tell them, hey, it's super easy to get involved and we can be valuable right now without you actually paying us any money. And here's how. These are the people, again, that are cold. They've maybe tried other software at this point. But hopefully you can still get them back in, but you want to serve them something super valuable at that point. Now, how do you serve these ads? You can use a platform that'll push multiple types of retargeting campaigns to multiple platforms, like AdRoll. It's a great platform for retargeting, or you can upload directly to Facebook. Now, audiences are the most important. This is where you do not want to stop at just creating URL-based audiences, meaning audience A landed on this blog post but did not land on the pricing page, or they landed on some part of your platform or part of your funnel, but they did not schedule a demo by URL, right? That's great, but you want to take it a step further and go ahead and integrate your CRM. And we'll talk about that in a second, so that you can accurately pull and push people in and out of audiences, not just based on what URLs they visited. Now, creatives, I showed Moat, but what you want to do is, especially if you're a SaaS company, is you want to show the product in use. This is super important, and I stress this to all of my clients. You want to show screencasts of the product in use with your face, meaning the founder, ideally, but at least one of the people in the company, higher up in the company, showcasing the product, right? How they're using it, showcase a specific use case to that specific audience. So you have your audiences segmented, create a nice screencast. This gives them a good feel of how it is using your products. And also, if your face is on that screencast, it will build trust and credibility with your product. So continue serving those good brand impressions using screencasts. Try messenger ads. Let's do our episode about how you deploy bots in messenger ads to kind of warm them up and convert them 24 hours a day using really good conversation. If you have intercom, a lot of you SaaS companies will have intercom, should have intercom in my opinion. Intercom, you can do things like set up UTM-based specific deployment messages, right? So you can deploy messages in intercom based on a lot of things on the site. So based on the URL, based on the type of link that they clicked and what type of message. But one of the things that you can do that a lot of people don't do is you can say intercom, anybody that comes onto the site and the URL includes the parameter campaign equals blank or source equals blank, serve them this specific message. And that way you can actually hyper target people that click on specific campaigns and talk to them as if you really know who they are. This is very important. So a good example of that is, since this is Facebook ads, you have a messenger ad, right? The messenger ad deploys a specific message to them that talks about the use case of that campaign, something they're doing. Now, in the messenger ad, you have the ability to insert a button and a URL. You add the UTM parameters for campaign source equals messenger ad, campaign content, medium, etc. Split that up, and then you go into intercom and you actually create a new campaign in intercom, a new message, visitor message in intercom that deploys only to people that meet that specific UTM parameter. And that message is something like, welcome back, John. Sorry to drag you off Facebook, but I have something very important to show you. I want to give you this today. It's a free ebook on this, or it's a free report on this, or it's a free synopsis of this. And you know that person's in that specific industry. Obviously, you know they came from Facebook, and you want to really dive in deep with the targeting and create that really one-to-one experience, which we talk about a lot on the podcast. So now that you have creatives, you've got your hows and twos and whys for SaaS, B2B, Facebook ads. Now the boring stuff, but the essential stuff, setting up your CRM to make sure you're pushing and pulling people in and out of Facebook audiences based on what they're doing in your CRM. This is incredibly underutilized, and I don't know why at this day and age, but connect your CRM to Facebook. Facebook lets you target people that are specific stages in your CRM. It's critical to optimizing your campaigns, especially at scale, to make sure you are not basically wasting money and having campaigns that are retargeting people that have already scheduled a demo or are super cold and no longer interested in your product. Using URLs, like I mentioned, like demo page, but not demo success page, is just not enough anymore. So connect your CRM. Now, how do you do that? There are two products in particular that I want to mention. Product number one is Leads Bridge. Leads Bridge is a great product. Here is their custom audiences sync page. So this, and we'll link to this, it talks all about why and how of connecting your CRMs. Here's all the CRMs that you can connect. Salesforce, obviously HubSpot, Intercom, all that good stuff. So connect those. So a good use case here, Intercom's on here. You don't only want to pull people out of campaigns that committed to a demo and sit in your CRM, but you may have Intercom, and they may be in a chat in Intercom, an actual chat with somebody. You don't want to retarget people that are in active conversations with people in Intercom. So connect Intercom, pull people out of your campaigns using Leads Bridge. The next one is DriftRock. DriftRock does a whole lot of stuff. One of the things it does is Facebook leads ad sync, same kind of thing as Leads Bridge. Pull people in and out of campaigns dynamically using this integration. And check out DriftRock, highly recommend it if you can afford it. Now, these platforms allow you to do really awesome downstream analytics and push that data back into Facebook and leverage that data to make sure your campaigns are hyper targeted. So can't stress that enough. And that'll wrap up my section. I'll hand it back off to Nola. He's going to wrap up with just 3 best practices and what to do tactically for B2B marketing using Facebook ads. So back to you, Nolan.
Yes, and so a few best practices. Number one is making sure that your digital plumbing is taken care of on your website. And by that, I mean your analytics tags, and those are things, obviously the Facebook pixel, Google Analytics, and others. And you can use Google Tag Manager to organize those so that your web developer only has to do one thing, and then you can edit those directly from Google Tag Manager. And it's very important, like Alex was saying, to make sure that those events are set up correctly for how, did they view the pricing page either by URL or you can use custom events. You have to get that taken care of so that you can leverage your, not only so that you can read your data, but also leverage it. And especially the dynamic custom audiences, because otherwise you'd have to statically upload an email list, and that may work in some cases, but you want to integrate your CRM directly. Another best practice is that you have to constantly test your ads. Don't expect the first version of an ad to be the final one that you use. And probably the last best practice is to monitor your ads, and by that I mean the comments on them. And people make these tools for them because it can be difficult to actually check and read the comments, because you have to go through Business Manager and then click on the actual thing to see it. But if someone's leaving a negative comment, you want to make sure that you have multiple options. You can either delete it or you could respond to it, depending on what it is. Now, if it's a troll, then it's probably best that you delete it, but because other people will see that, and based on how other people are engaging with that ad will influence how more viewers interact with that. So it can affect their perception of it if someone's sabotaging it, or if it's a legitimate question or concern, you can use that as a opportunity to answer that, and then other people will see that and say, "Oh, okay." So those are my best tips for it. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment on this episode, and we'll get back to you.
Ah, awesome. Yeah. And I forgot to show it earlier, but I showed just now the ManyChat Calendly integration. So that's a great use case too. And thank you so much, Nolan. I mean, it's been a pleasure as usual. And thank you for taking time out of your Saturday night to record this. I think we're all marketing automation geeks, so we enjoy it even on the weekends. So thank you, sir. And until next time, bid you farewell.
All right. Awesome, Alex. Thank you so much.
Take care, buddy.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.